One of the biggest mistakes you'd ever make when it comes to buying a house or buying a land that is contained in a will of property is not citing that particular will. I mean, you didn't go through that particular will to know who the beneficiary is and to also know who the executor is. You just went ahead and bought that property, maybe because you got it very cheap. It will be one of the biggest mistakes you will do. Now, can I tell you what will happen to you? Your money will be gone completely. Let me share a very sad experience with you. Now, I have this friend who was a victim of this particular circumstance. He bought a land for 50 million naira from his friend. So the guy that sold the land to him was a beneficiary of that particular land. Their dad was no more, so he left a will on ground. However, his uncle was the executor of that particular will. So this guy who was the beneficiary, because he had access to the document, went ahead and sold this property without the consent of his uncle. Now, guess what? It became a legal battle. Eventually, that land was retrieved from that my friend who bought that particular land because it was interpreted as illegal transaction since the executor was not involved in that particular transaction. He ended up losing his 50M. They are still on the issue. I don't know if he has been able to collect that money back, but it is a very sad one. He happened to be a victim of this. So one thing I always advise is if you are buying a property that is contained in a will, please take your time, go through the will, know who is the beneficiary, and also know who is the executor of that will. Any property you go ahead to buy outside of the knowledge of these two persons and it is contained in the will of the property, anybody can challenge that in court. And trust me, that transaction will be termed an illegal transaction. So you've got to be very careful in transactions that have to do with anything that is contained in the will of property. You know what? I don't just teach you theory. I teach you exactly what I spend every single day of my life doing. For every day, it's either I'm on the construction site or I'm doing a search on the land or I'm doing something that has to do with real estate in the city of Abuja. So most of the things I share with you, they're coming from my own personal experiences out there in the field. I remain your friend, Dave, Abuja's most influential real estate consultant. I'm always here to guide you and to make sure you take the right decision.